Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. A survey published by the Anti-Defamation League, an international Jewish organisation tasked with combating anti-Semitism, suggests that anti-Semitic attitudes are most prevalent in Poland, South Africa, Ukraine and Hungary. According to the authors of the report, almost half of Poles have prejudices against Jews. The survey has aroused much controversy because of its dubious methodology.
The authors of the survey presented 11 statements, and people being surveyed were asked to say if they were true or false. These are the statements. Jews have too much control over global media. Jews speak too much about what happened to them during Holocaust. Jews have too much strength in the business world. Jews have too much control in the government of the United States. Agreement with the statement was taken to indicate an anti-Semitic attitude. According to the authors, over 25% of Europeans responded that way. I think it's another provocation organized by Jewish organizations in order to get the money from the earliest properties from Poland. This is not the first time they have done something like that. They did that before, for instance, when they wanted to get some money from Switzerland. The method of carrying the survey is not the only thing that arouses controversy, but also the fact that the survey was financed by Volkswagen. Not bad idea, thanking Volkswagen for financing report about anti-Semitism in the world, where Poland is most anti-Semitic, but not Germany, where there are dozens of examples including murders of real anti-Semitism and neo-Nazi marching on the streets of Berlin. Ironic. According to the publicist Tadeusz Purzański, this fact reveals the goal of the survey. This is a political and financial matter. They wanted to get the burden of Holocaust of Germans and put it on Poles. The fact that the German company has something to do with it shows that this survey didn't have good intentions. The Anti-Defamation League survey was conducted in 18 countries on over 9,000 people.
Yesterday, the Prime Minister of Poland, Mateusz Morawiecki, spent an hour and a half answering questions asked by internet users on Facebook. The questions concern, among others, yesterday's voting in the Sejm, the building of a monument to the Battle of Warsaw, and pedestrian safety. The Prime Minister also mentioned today's meeting of the leaders of the United Right.
What did the voting look like? Both the opposition and the ruling coalition were coming to Mrs. Marshall, who were telling her that something is wrong. For example, Mrs. Iwona Katarasińska-Śledzińska from the opposition said that the cards weren't working. Mrs. Marshall decided to do the voting again. If someone is suspicious, I would like to say that no one in this room sees the result of the voting until it is shown on the screen. Is there a possibility for better cooperation with the left and with the Civic Platform Party? I don't think there is now, because we can't jump over some things. Simply because there was a time of communism and post-communism and it led to where we are now. We can't use a magic wand and get somewhere else. People from the left and the Civic Platform Party can't appreciate our great economic success, for instance filling the VAT gap. That is why it's so hard to imagine good cooperation, but of course it is possible. We will work with any person who has goodwill.
According to unofficial information, the leader of the Modern Party, Katarzyna Leibnauer, is going to resign from her role as leader of the party. The Modern Party Secretary-General, Adam Szłapka, is said to take over her position. The Modern Party formed a coalition with the largest opposition party, Civic Platform, ahead of last month's parliamentary elections, as polls pointed to the Modern Party not being able to cross the 5% electoral threshold necessary for seats in Parliament. The street protests and violence currently engulfing large parts of Latin America have now spread to Colombia. A curfew was declared on Friday after violent demonstrations on Thursday, which saw 250,000 union members and students take to the streets to protest against the Conservative President Ivan Duque. 3 looters were killed. Last night, the death toll increased further after a car bomb exploded in front of a police station in the southwestern province of Cauca, killing 3 and injuring 10 police officers. Thursday's general strike and street protests have been planned for weeks, and large sections of Colombian society were worried that the violent protests currently taking place in other parts of Latin America would also spread to Colombia. Their fears proved to be correct, as the protests in the capital of Colombia, and the second largest city, Cali, quickly deteriorated into looting and acts of vandalism. Local residents were frustrated with the unruly protesters. Absolutely bad. You don't ask for things like that. In this country you ask with moral integrity, with physical integrity, with intelligence and with wisdom. But the vandals have shown they don't even know what they're asking for. They're social misfits who deserve only to be punished by the justice system. Many Colombian conservatives are convinced that the left-wing violence has been fueled by external actors, and in particular by Foro de Sao Paulo, a conference of Latin American Marxist parties modelled on the infamous Comintern. After the curfew was announced, many local residents started forming neighbourhood watch groups. There are more good people, as our neighbours say, than bad. We are protecting our property, our family, our neighbours, and that's the most important thing. Last night's news of a massive car bomb killing a number of police officers in the region of Cauca has sparked fears that the fragile peace treaty between the government and the communist guerrilla and terror organisation, FARC, which has been in place since 2016, could be in jeopardy. Communist insurgency in Colombia started in 1964. That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland daily business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.